How social are you being? Hi there, I'm Julie Turner, julieturner.ca, and I'm here with Wednesday's weekly reading. Now, before coming on here, I was trying to figure out what is the energy around the reading today. So I drew some tarot cards, and as per usual, a few jumped out. And I was trying to figure out exactly what they meant. And I got the Ace of Wands. So we'll start with that. I got the Ace of Wands, which the Ace of Wands is all about power and creativity. So, okay, that's great. Power and creativity around what? But what also fell out was the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is about curiosity and often about love. It's news of these things. And I started thinking, are we being social right now? Are we really being curious? There's so many reasons for us not to be social right now. We have to social distance. We have to, we can't meet in large groups. And there's so many things so many rules. I really dislike rules. I don't know if you know that about me or not, but I really dislike rules, especially other people's. Kind of like my own, but not so much other people's. Anyway, back to sociability. I see a lot of different videos and stuff like that, all about when we limit our sociability and our connection with other humans, what it does to our minds, what it does to our emotions, what it does to us in general. Even physically, it can be a detriment to us when we aren't social, when we don't have that human-to-human connection. So what do we do when we've got all these rules? How do we figure that out? How do we still make those connections? And I think that is where the Ace of Wands comes in. This is all about creativity, and it's also about power and understanding that at the end of the day, you actually do have the power. All these rules that are being put on us, you have to stand up and figure out if these rules actually make sense, and do whatever you personally need to do to figure out if those rules make sense. A lot of them don't make sense to me. Things like social distance, that makes total sense to me. I don't need to be that close to a complete stranger. I can connect without actually being closer than 6 feet. No problem with that. There's a lot of rules that do not make sense. There's a lot of rules that were formed because of social pressures, because of fear. And they're no longer relevant, and we need to just really figure out what actually makes sense and start being social again. So sometimes you need to be really, really creative with the way that we're social. We can't meet in large groups. It's a rule, so we can't meet in large groups. But there are other ways to connect with people, and smaller groups of people, and staying just that distance away. I'm not buying into the hype of all this fear that we have anyways, but I'm not going to judge you if you do. Fear is something that is kind of hard to get over, so there's no blame, there's no judgment here. But please know that it is way more detrimental to you to stay in solitary confinement, which is one of the cruelest things to do to a human, is to keep them on their own by themselves without any connection. So maybe it's time to actually start being creative about how you move forward and connect with humans again. The other thing, like I said, Page of Cups being about news and curiosity and love. I'm a very curious person. I love curiosity. It's one of my values in life to always remain curious and remain around others that are curious. So what does that exactly mean? I'm going to clarify that card, news around love and curiosity. I'm going to clarify that with a guidance card. So we'll see what comes up around love and curiosity. Love and curiosity. Oh, well, there's a card jumping out. Ooh, interesting. Sorry, not sharing just yet. So what comes up around love and curiosity? Okay, so gratitude, the High Lord of gratitude and service, selflessness, humility, conscious action. Well, I think this just feeds right into what we were just talking about. So the High Lord of gratitude and service. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to be grateful for, everything that's happened in the last few months. I'm going to be grateful maybe even for those rules where they started out. But understanding that we now have to take conscious action. We can't just sit and wait. There's nobody out there protecting us. You can say that somebody else is looking out for you and protecting you and just stay in their little rules and follow the news and all that other stuff. But the fact is you have your own intuition, your own ability to take power and creativity and move forward with conscious action. I think that's really important. So the thing that came out, the card that jumped out is the word Lord. And I apologize if I'm flipping through these really quickly. This is about communication, praise, and dishonesty. So what this card speaks of is we have the ability to use words, and we have the ability to use words in praise or to use words in criticism. And as I'm saying that, I'm trying really hard not to criticize. And I don't even like the word try, but it is a fact. It is a word that we use a lot. Again, be grateful for all these changes that have come. And there's a lot of changes that I actually really like and enjoy and embrace. And not all of the changes have been negative ones, but the ones that have been really hardcore negative, maybe it's time to reevaluate whether they're still relevant for us. But do this with kindness. Do this with praise. Understand that every time that we go to criticize somebody, we can also praise them for other things. Motivation is it's much more motivating, let's say it that way, to have praise for what you're doing correctly as opposed to having criticism for what you're not doing. If we are praised for something, we want to do it more. We want to show more of that as opposed to being criticized and then you just shut down. And it really doesn't matter, what you were doing before, you're just going to shut down completely. So, sociability. How do we creatively be social? That's really up to you. I'm not going to give you any rules around that or even any ideas. But really think about how you can take your own power back, take control of your own life, and move forward, because we need to be social. Humans need to be social. We need to feel joy. We need to have the essence of other humans around us. Now, as for the energy that we need to be in as we're doing this, let's take a look. Let's see what the guidance cards are, what the goddess guidance cards tell us our energy needs to be as we move forward and be a little bit more social. Really get out there. And I'm not saying, those people that are like, oh, we can't meet in groups. You know what? If you feel you can't meet in a group, that's fine. Don't meet in a group. I'm not asking you to do anything that you are hardcore against. No problem. Oh, let's see. That's funny. I'm going to read that in a second. So what energy do we need to be in while we're being social? What energy do we need to be in while we're being social? Okay, this is really funny. Peaceful. Okay. There's no need to worry. Everything is working out beautifully. There's no need to worry. Everything is working out beautifully. So I asked for the energy that we need to be in as we're being social. Peaceful. Move forward with peace and understand that there's really no need to worry. There's really no need to worry. All those fears that you've got are, I can go into a bunch of acronyms around fear, but the fact is that fear is developed in your mind, by your mind. End of story. Now, the card that jumped out when I was shuffling, as I'm shuffling, I'm literally thinking to myself, be diplomatic, be kind, don't say things that'll trigger people. And this is the card that jumped out. The card that jumped out says, don't back down. So fact is, I have really strong beliefs. I watched a video the other day, yesterday I think it was, and it was two cousins getting to hug for the first time since they'd been social distancing and really essentially in lockdown. Two cousins, probably around the age of, 8 to 10. And they were racked with emotion. So if you don't think that this situation is messing with us in way bigger ways than COVID ever could, think again. We really need to take back our power and creativity and move forward in a healthy way. And health is not only stay away from one virus. That is not what health is about. So I'm not going to get back down because I believe that we need to move forward and that we need to come together and be beautifully human, which is imperfect. And things are going to happen. And sometimes we're going to be scared, but that's okay. We still need to move forward. All right. Now go out there and be social. Happy Wednesday, everyone.